All right, y'all. Monday, it is August the 17th, 2026. People, I appreciate individuals that give me, make contributions to this movement. I'm going to jump right into this thing right here. I want to thank DJ. He's a DJ Big L. I want to thank you for that $20 contribution via my Cash App. Money sign Nerd Solo. Appreciate that $20 contribution via my Cash App. KC LLC. I guess you're a business. You got down to business by making a $20 contribution via my PayPal. Sun Nerd, Anonymous Prime Supreme, and Crown and Crew. Not just one person. He's a whole crew. Crown and Crew. So Crown, I want to thank you for that $5 contribution via my Venmo. Everything greatly appreciated. Friday, I'm going to bring this 3-hour live stream back from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm going to bring back one day a week, come and crack out with you guys for 3 hours. And I will definitely appreciate you guys showing up. New to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. People, I'm going to tell you something. History has told us that when we vote for Democrats, the country is in a decline. When we vote for that redneck white man, the country is on the up. So let's talk about it. I am somewhat of a historian. Not a lot of a historian. I'm somewhat of a historian, which means I will not get into a conversation about history and just be totally lost. I know enough that I can make references to every period of this country. I may not know 3 or 4 layers down, but I know the first 2 layers. And what I've known by watching the TV series on the History Channel, because I'm such a nerd, when I watched The Men That Built America, what I seen was rich white men. Whenever a rich white man was in control, this country was in better hands. So let's talk about it. Remember, y'all, if you got warrants for your arrest for non-payment of child support, or if your license is suspended due to non-payment of child support, you can start a consultation to get your license unsuspended, get that warrant rescinded by a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You cannot wipe your arrears away, but you can take the jurisdiction out of the lower courts and put it in federal courts. Once that jurisdiction is snatched out of the lower courts, bye-bye to their warrants, bye-bye to their suspension of your license. If you are going through a divorce, I know it's hard, and I know what's going on. What's going on is you just avoiding the process, because when you had to fight the divorce, you said, number one, I can do it myself. After the real 1.1, you taking it on your own is 1.2. And you went to an attorney and they say $6,000 retainer because they know they're going to charge you with a higher retainer so they can route your hole. Don't let your hole get routed. Don't let your hole get routed. We can help you negotiate your divorce. 732-875-9111. You'll text $50 consultation already when you're ready. Anything other than that, you will get blocked. All right, you will get blocked. All right. So again, so I'm gonna come at it like this. I'm gonna come at a simple narrative and a simple perspective. This is 2026. 11 years ago, I was battling 30 individuals on social media claiming that I was a scam. These 30 individuals, when you looked at their video, they was in a dark room. They never showed you a video of them having a life. I looked on one individual's last year, and he had a extension cord on the ceiling, an extension cord. You know, this individual called me a government agent. This individual called me all the worst things in a book. And in 2024, he found me on TikTok and said some nonsense. And I'm like, you still on that? Man, you still on that? Then that's when I went and looked at his video, and I seen this raggedy room he was in with a lamp, and That is the perspective of individuals like that. People, I was raised on money. I was raised how to make money. I wasn't taught how to play. I wasn't taught how to get the bitches. I was taught in the streets of New York City, delivering packages for Jewelers Shipping Association, 195 Lombardy Street, Brooklyn, New York. That's what I did every day in the summer, every day on my Christmas vacation, every day on my Easter vacation. I was working. I never had time to be a kid. And because of that, I transitioned into an adult that understands money. All right? When you understand money, your foundation to make it is a very strong one. So all those guys that was coming at me in 2015, 16, and part of 17, those are all money grab guys. Where are they now? Where are they now? Why every time when you see these individuals, they can't accept none of these because they scammed the system so much and had so many complaints. The financial platforms where they can take these wire transfers got them up out of there. Why they don't have a secretary? Why they don't have an office? I have an office address. I have a secretary that I have been having for years. These individuals, my phone number. I had my phone number for years. Why is the phone number still there? Why today on August the 17th, 2026, I'm still here? Why? Because I understand money. And all those individuals that come on social media and say, I can stop your child support. Just email me and I'll send you a packet. Email is a distance. I get personal with you. I charge retainers. We have a relationship. How come there is an individual to say, I gave him my $500. He never called me and he said I had a retainer for 30 days and it was 17 days and he cut me off? Why? This is why, me personally, when you don't listen, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. If you say one thing that I did not say, you just brought the demise of our relationship. You're telling me that you're one of those individuals, you got an agenda in your head, an individual agenda. It ain't got nothing to do with what's going on in real time. You're saying no matter what, this is what I want. This is what I want. You're not paying attention to the punches that you're getting. You just looking at, you going like this, and you're trying to just focus on one thing. I don't want to deal with people like that. I understand the process. You have ups, downs, changes, and turnarounds. That's life. But individuals back in the 15, 16, and part of 17, when they was doing all that, they was in it for the money grab. They wasn't caring about the clients. That's why they never had a retainer. They didn't have phone numbers listed where they had a secretary on standby. None of them, right? This is what is going on in the political race. And the unfortunates to a lot of individuals that are grown, they still don't understand money and they never understood money. This is why if we go down, if we take two individuals, no, let's go three. Let's go Mayor Mondani, Mike Bloomberg, and Mayor Dinkins. When Mayor Dinkins was in office back in the early 90s, there was a lot of unstableness going on in New York City. I remember one incident where a white cop shot a black dude. I think it was the Bedford-Stuyvesant thing. And I turned on the TV and I seen the mayor of New York with the people talking about the injustices of that shooting. And I looked at that situation and I said, that's not what black mayor. And Black people will sit here today and say, that's right, he's supposed to be for black people. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. You get into office, you're not for no specific race of people, despite what the Democrats have been doing when it came to LGBT. Despite what y'all think, it's the reason why, like I tell individuals, I'm getting up out of this country, nonetheless. So I seen Mayor Dinkins. On TV with the people talking about this situation. And I was like, whoa. So I'm like, this is like 92, 93, somewhere down there. So this is 30 years ago. And I knew then that a governor wasn't supposed to be down there with the people. But Mayor Dinkins was a Democrat. And you're gonna realize, as I start talking in this video, you're gonna notice the pattern with Democrats. And I wanna be clear, I was a Democrat at that time. And you're gonna notice that the Democrat is for the lower class. Not to say that the lower class don't mean anything, but you can't get into office and cater to middle class. Hold on, let me back that up. Mayor Dinkins was catering to the lower class, the minorities. When you get into office, you cannot cater to minorities. You cannot. If you are a mayor and you are catering to somebody that had 5 kids by 5 different women or 5 kids by 5 different men, and you're catering to them, you're putting programs in place to try to make their life easy. You're missing the point. You lend them a hand, but you don't give them an escalator to come up. And so when I seen Mayor Dinkins talking to the people and everything, I remember talking to a couple of my friends about it, and they was like, that's what he's supposed to do. He's the mayor. I said, that's not what he's supposed to do. He's the mayor. He's supposed to be in his office, call the chief of police and say, get that mother and you and that mother in my office now. That is how a mayor handles things like that. A mayor don't go down with the people. All right? But Mayor Dinkins, he wasn't a millionaire. I didn't know anything about him. He could have been the star of the bazaar. I didn't know anything about him. When Mike Bloomberg got into office, I heard about the man all my life. I heard about Mike Bloomberg. Didn't know he was a billionaire. They didn't stress billionaire like they did when he got into start running. But I didn't know Mike Bloomberg was a billionaire. I heard of him. I used to hear the Bloomberg report. And I was like, oh shit, oh, that's him. Wow. All right. You cannot bring poor people into politics as your base to help. There's a bigger thing going on. The world, America, keeping America strong, making sure we don't have an invasion at our shores. What the president of the United States is doing right now, he's not doing nothing but flexing muscle. He's supposed to do that. We are the United States. And anybody that don't understand that, or anybody that thinks that there's an option to listen to us while we're flexing muscle, then you don't understand politics. You don't understand politics. You don't. So Mike Mayor Dinkins, it was time for re-election. And because of his high love for black people, they got him the fuck up out of there. And as a black person, let me tell you something. I am not from New York. But it's the reason why New York's motto is, I love New York. Because people, there's no place like New York. When I be hitting my scratch offs, the one thing that I say is, if I scratch one of these motherfuckers and it says $1 million hit, first thing I'm doing, I'm moving to New York. I will not move to New York unless I had $1 million in cash. And then the residuals, I'm living off that. And of course, what I do month to month. That is how fly New York is. I love New York. There was, when I used to come home from the military, when I used to come home on vacation from the military, the one thing I always made sure I did was take the PATH train over to New York and just walk around. Just walk around. There's no place like New York. So I'm using New York as the pinnacle, because for those that, if you want to know what New York was like, go watch the movie Fort Apache, The Bronx. Go watch that movie and go watch Superfly and look at New York in the late 60s, early 70s. Look at how you would walk down the street in New York City and there'd be rows of abandoned buildings, garbage everywhere, rats, just trash. New York City was truly Hell's Kitchen. And the only people that got it right was the mayors. So when you talk about politics, again, and you talk about bringing back somebody in there that's going to promise you free bus rides, understand with free comes the halt of money. When you say free, when you say free, when you say free, what's the word I'm looking for? When you say free, you neutralize growth. You kill growth. Whenever you say free, you kill growth. Why do you think they say when they give you money, they call it a stimulus check? Because when they give you money, it stimulates movement. Now we got money flowing in the economy. We got this. Stimulation checks was always the answer to the Democrats' bullshit. And you guys don't understand that. But let's just go left for a second. That chick, Ania Costis, or whatever her name, AOC, whatever. How does a woman be a bartender, become a congresswoman, and then talk about running for president? Well, that's possible in the Democratic Party. You would say that you want somebody to have more qualifications than that. This is why, like I said, or if I didn't say, whenever you look at growth, we need to get that white man back in office. That stern, red-faced white man. Y'all want to make fun of Donald Trump? Orange man, that's what y'all call him? We need orange-faced men in office. Because the orange-faced men, they are patriots. And if you tell a redneck, we are going to bring in socialism and we're going to make it work, tell that to a fucking redneck. Because y'all dumb-ass black people, y'all don't understand socialism. Y'all are so dumb, you don't understand socialism. When somebody says socialism, if you got a gun, you should step back and be like, who the fuck are you? What the fuck is it you trying to do? But y'all don't. Y'all listen to a man speak about socialism like it's the second coming of Jesus Christ. Y'all actually listen to somebody talk about socialism. Oh, I get it. I get it. They want to normalize socialism like black people normalize the word nigga. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? That's what it is. That's what it is. The Democrats normalized socialism like we lower class normalized the word nigga. Now what you've noticed is the successful white redneck, red face, they ain't normalizing patriotism. If you ask them, they'll tell you, well, the blood of patriotism must be refreshed from time to time. Basically what they're saying is, we got our freedoms and you kind of forgot how we got them. So we got to give you a little reminder. And the reminder ain't good. But they have, the white redneck has maintained his freedom perspective by saying, I'm a patriot. This is not the case with Democrats. This is not the case. This is not the case. This is why, again, this is why Zohran Mamdani is executing his plan to turn New York City back 40 years, and y'all don't even see it. But that's how it is. So that's what Mayor Dinkins. Mayor Dinkins was a Democrat. And when he got into office, he did one term and they got him the fuck up out of there because he was just basically more of an Al Sharpton mayor than a mayor. So let's get off of him. And let's go to Mike Bloomberg, billionaire. Let's go to billionaire Mike Bloomberg. And when we talk about billionaire Mike Bloomberg, we're talking about a billionaire. So what does one do to become a billionaire? What does one do? What does one do to become a billionaire? Do he sleep late? Is he on welfare for 20 or 30 years? Did he do something right in life that makes him a good leader? Can he take what he did to become a billionaire and lead the people from poverty? I mean, after all, when you look back in history, the people that was the greats in politics were either army officers or millionaires or billionaires, not regular old people. When you look back, our leaders came from families with money. And this is why corporations brought America, because we allow so many Democrats, people that didn't have no money. When a corporation came and said, I'll give you this amount of money, they said, okay, I'll take it. This is why Democrats get into office worth $80,000. 3 years later, they were $30 million. Where do you think they get that money from? They were brought. If you got a politician in your pocket, you got it made. This is why when our president, Donald Trump, got into office, all that nonsense stopped. You can't buy a billionaire. But y'all don't see this. This is why a billionaire's talk is not the same talk as a poor person that gets into office. A poor person that gets into office demonizes the successful. And y'all run with it. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with it. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with it. Hold on a second. They demonize successful people, and y'all poor, so y'all will rant and rave and say, yeah, he's going to take from the poor people and give to us. He's going to take from them and give to us, and now I can sit on my ass. Oh, I ain't got to work hard because the government is going to give me. And y'all fall for this cycle, and it's How do you publicly come out and say, I'm going to get rid of the police department, I'm going to get rid of prisons? You're leaving it up to the master manipulators to run your society. Do you think the Republic, listen, first of all, let me help you understand that plan. The second a Democrat mayor, the second a Democrat gets into office, this country will divide. The second a Democrats say, we're going to get rid of the Supreme Court, we're going to defund the police, no more police and no more prisons, this country will be divided. It won't be 50 states in the United States anymore. It won't be. It won't be. No way. But this is another thing that y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand that each state have a right to withdraw from this union and become their own country. You didn't know that, did you? You're going to mess around. I kid you not. This country, you're going to need a passport. If a Democratic president get back into office, just listen to what I'm saying. Just listen to what I'm saying. If a Democratic president gets into office, you'll need a passport to go from New York to Virginia. You'll need a passport. You know why? Because it'd be all the Republican states withdraw from the union and create their own country, and all the other ones that are Democrats will keep y'all in. They'll keep y'all in. I don't blame them. If you want a reference to this, remember when Texas wanted to withdraw from the union? Remember that? Texas said, no, we good. No, we fuck the deficit. We ain't in the black. We ain't in the red. We in the black. No, ain't nothing. We all good. Why should we have to pay down the national debt? Because you want to keep giving it to black folks, to poor people. Y'all don't understand this. And of course, you would never need to develop this part of your brain, because when Democrats get into office, they see to it that you don't ever develop that. So let's talk about Mike Bloomberg. I remember when Mike Bloomberg got into office, it was like somebody turned the light on in New York City on a broad daylight. In the broad daylight. First, let me tell you about New York City in the 70s. When you walk down New York City in the 70s, let's take 42nd Street. When you walk down 42nd Street in the 70s, even as a little kid, I was approached by whores. There was nothing but sex shops. Mayor Giuliani cleaned all that up. A Republican. Mayor Giuliani got all that shit the fuck up out of there. I remember going to New York City when Mike Bloomberg was in office and could not believe I was in New York City. I could not believe when I walked down 42nd Street, I was at awe. When I seen the, the Hard Rock Cafe, when I could not believe, I said, wow, New York City, yes. You guys don't understand this. You guys don't understand this. We need to get a redneck let the rednecks have this. All these poor people becoming congressmen and becoming politicians. If that's your way to get rich, is to get into office and scam the people you came from out of office, I'm not interested. I I'm only voting for rich people. When Mike Bloomberg was in New York City, he left office with a surplus. Mike Bloomberg was so good as a New York mayor, he did something that no other mayor did. He did 3 terms. That's how good he was. But of course, he took care of New York City. He rode the subway. He took care of New York City. He knew New York City was the mecca of business for the entire world. And you guys got a socialist so much to the point where the New York Stock Exchange wants to move. And you don't see that. You guys got somebody into office so much to the point where the state of Florida awarded your New York City mayor Businessman of the Year. Thank you for giving us all this business. Florida! You don't see nothing wrong with that. That man did nothing but run on socialist trash. And you seen nothing wrong with that. He never said how he was going to create jobs. Only, we going to get these rich people. Oh, we going to get these rich people. You're not fucking with the rich. I don't know what it is you're thinking, but you're not fucking with the rich. It's not happening. You're not fucking with the rich. But because you don't understand money, you think a rich person is just, oh, I'm a millionaire, da 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 da. Hey, I'm gonna sue you for saying that you don't like my sneakers. Oh, you have another lawsuit. No. You say you're gonna sue a rich person, a millionaire, they're gonna say, you're gonna sue who? You, because you're a millionaire. Yeah. Good luck with that. Millionaires and billionaires got full protection. Why do you think that dumb bitch that went after billionaire Donald Trump, she thought she was on a high horse? Where's she at now? You don't fuck with rich, red-faced white men. It's not happening. It's not. These Democrats got y'all believing that they get into office and the office, a political office, gives them the power to go after the rich. But you would think that because you don't know no better. This is why I would feel sorry for you if you was to vote for anything other than a rich white person. If a rich black man is running for office and he's a known name, like let's say a white person owned Apple and it was like Bill Apple is running for office. Yeah. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I wouldn't do it if I was you. I wouldn't do it. But again, you guys will vote, people will vote for a Democrat high off of the possibilities of now we're going to penalize that millionaire or that billionaire for being rich. And you done fucked around and woke up a sleeping giant. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Bruce Blakeman. Bruce Blakeman is a redneck patriot. Bruce Blakeman said, oh, so you cheap ass Israelis really think this shit gonna fly in this country. As if these redneck white men, we gonna sit here and allow this to happen. Redneck white men is our savior. President Donald Trump, our savior. Bruce Blakeman, our savior. I want to be clear. And I know what the fuck I'm saying, and you can say what you want, but I'd rather take the redneck white man than Muhammad Khalid saying that, having videos saying, I want to defund the police. I want to get rid of the Supreme Court. That means you want to destroy our judicial structure. You want to destroy it. So when you execute your bullshit, we are hopeless and helpless. And y'all see and hear this, and they get y'all to vote for them motherfuckers simply by saying the word free. Free is the neutralization of growth. You will never grow anywhere at any time. Will you grow when you hear the word free? When you hear the word free. Growth, opposite of death. If you're not growing, you're dying. And the more and more free stuff you take, you're dying of a slow death. I promise you. So let's talk about Mr. Zoro Mandani. You guys, so here's what we say. We say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, right? We say things like you can't trust a thief, right? So how did a man get into office with a plan like, I'm going to give y'all free food. I'm going to have one store in each borough where there's low prices, 30% less. He said free before. 30% less has a price. How 30% less than $1 is a lot less than 30% less than $1 billion is a lot more than $1,000. How do you vote for somebody that says, I'm gonna give y'all free buses, free this, free that? How do you vote for somebody that tells you we're gonna destroy our economical growth for you? How? 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 And you vote for them. How does that happen? How do you vote for somebody that says, I'm going to give, the city runs the buses that need maintenance, the buses that need insurance, the buses that break down, the buses that need to be, they need to buy new. How do somebody say, you want free buses? Yeah. How? How does somebody move from 135th Street down to the Lower East Side for free? And you vote for this. How? How? How do you vote for somebody with that smirk on his face? How do you vote for somebody that, how do you people keep voting into people office that have no economical worth to lead you? I listen to Dave Ramsey. I'm not listening to Shaquita down at the welfare office applying for welfare for financial advice. I don't care what she did in life. It ain't work. I never was on welfare. I always knew that I had to get up early in the morning and work. First thing I do when I get up in the morning, creatine, beet juice, vitamin B, pre-workout. First thing I do in the morning, I don't drink coffee. I have coffee, but this is my coffee. And again, you turn around and you vote these people into office, and I can only hope that Bruce Blackman get into office. And I can only hope, you ready? I can only hope that Zohran Mamdani runs New York City down in the ground. Because I'm going to end this video by saying this. For all of you people that voted for him, based on the campaign that I've seen, he 3-card Molly'd your ass. So you deserve all the fuck shit that you get. If you owned a house and you voted for him, you should have seen that coming. If you owned a house, you should have some high level economical understanding, and you should have seen that coming. But you guys, you voted for that. So I hope, again, I hope he run New York City in the ground. I hope our politicians put bills in place where foreigners cannot hold office. I just hope you do that. I mean, after all, this man, Zohran Mamdani, tried to send his wife over to another country under the security of New York City's policemen. New York City police is on. So they're going to be on a plane with their guns, really? You got an Air Force 3 or some shit? They can